discuss the vaccine?
I believe so, yes.
Yep, we are now live on YouTube.
Lori, are you there?
I'm here now, yes.
Okay. Can you give us an update on the vaccine?
Okay, hold on. So as far as the vaccine, we have applied, we have everything in place. We got all the necessary as far as MCVP agreement. We have MIAS. We applied to the state last week. We did not get any vaccine. We did apply again this week, so we're just waiting to hear. There is one more piece that we still, I know Tanya's helping me work on, and that is with Commonwealth Medicine so we'll be able to do reimbursement for administration. So that's the only other piece we have left as far as with the vaccine.
Okay, so do we have a timeline for any of this?
So it's all dependent upon Massachusetts Department of Public Health. They actually, no towns that I know of last week got any vaccine. They basically pulled vaccine to mass vaccination sites and CVS, Walgreens, and those sites. So at the DPH call today, they didn't really kind of talk about that. They just said it all depends on supply from the state. So a lot of towns are just kind of waiting, and we're all waiting for the state to give us the vaccine. As soon as they do, I've been in touch with the fire chief, Gary Sylvia. We're all set. We have a plan that we'd be able to execute when we would do a drive-through COVID vaccine clinic.
Okay, and where are we doing this? At the COA?
No, it would be at Station 3.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that, Lori?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Why don't we, how are you going to prioritize your list? I think that that's something we need to discuss. Also, can you at least bring us up to date on the COVID, on where we are with COVID testing right now and our caseload?
Sure. So as far as COVID cases, as of today, Freetown is at 791 cases. We currently have 51 cases that are active. Numbers are coming down. We had 244 in December, 222 in January, and right now for February, we're at 64. So it does appear as if the numbers are going down. We're also, school vacation is this week, so hopefully we won't see a spike in cases after school vacation. So it does appear as if numbers are doing better. We'll just wait and see how that is doing. I have the people who are helping out with the contact tracing, which has been working out well. CTC I've used in other towns and they don't really follow up with cases. And I was actually talking with Deb, who's one of the contact tracers today, and she was saying how 2 people in the household, one person actually lives in another town and they haven't heard from their town. So we're reaching out and, making contact with our residents, which is good.
Do you have any numbers on how many of our residents have been admitted to the hospital with this?
I do. So far, we have 26 that have been hospitalized.
Wow.
And we've had 5 deaths so far.
Okay.
No one that has COVID presently has the new strain.
Not that we're aware of. On the DPH call today, they did say that they do send out, the testing sites do test for the different strains. And they said usually they don't find out that until after. So they kind of, once a person's already out of isolation, they kind of let people know. So we're still, they're still kind of new on that piece. But as of right now, I have not been informed that anyone in Freetown has any of the different strains.
All right. And the second part of my question was, how do we prioritize our list?
So right now for Mass DPH, obviously we're in, phase 2, step 1. So all of phase 1 can get the vaccine. So that's your healthcare workers, first responders, home healthcare. And then also phase 2 is your 75 and older. So different towns have different approaches. So I guess that's one of the things that we need to decide on how we want to do that. Some towns have done lotteries, some have gone oldest to youngest. So those are, kind of different options. Obviously, all the towns, COA is a big piece in helping reach out. I've seen in other towns where, this population, a lot of them have difficulty getting on computers and, going to these sites and actually, logging on and signing on. So COA has been a huge piece in other communities as far as, calling seniors and getting them registered and helping them on.
So, all right, then, is there any way for us to work with Barbara from COA? Also, I want to throw out there that perhaps maybe our senior veterans that maybe didn't get the vaccine through the VA hospital, we might want to check on them as well. So we could probably go through Bruce Wilbur over at from the VFW. We can probably start with that anyway. And I don't know if anybody wants to go, have any other suggestions.
How are we notifying people that this is available?
So we could use, obviously right now we don't have any vaccine, but what we could do is we could have Tim help us out with the Freetown Flash or the Facebook page. And then also Barbara probably has emails and communication as far as with seniors to get the message out to them. I would still in all those communications recommend that if they can get it anywhere else, like a CVS, or if they can make it to Gillette or Fenway, then they should do that because we're not guaranteed to get any doses. So I don't want people to be holding off for us. But it is something, once we can get vaccine, it is something that we will bring to town.
Lori, what is the actual, what is the number of vaccines, average number of vaccines that towns have been receiving?
So most towns are receiving 100 doses. There are some towns that get more, but at probably the town our size, the most we would get would be 100.
Okay, I know you're pressed for time here. So should we start to create a list and just have 100 people on that list, or 120, just in case some of those people have received their vaccines already? And who should be contacting the COA, Barbara? Should it be the town administrator, yourself, Tanya? I don't know how you want to roll this out.
Right. So I think, yes, get a list, like you're saying, about 120 people or so, but also let them know that they shouldn't rely basically on all on us, just in case if they have an opportunity to get it elsewhere. But we'd have that list. I could always reach out to Barbara, or I don't know if someone else wants to reach out to her, but I can kind of have her start thinking about a list. We also, Homebound, they are coming up with some plans, so we could potentially do that. So that's also a list that those people would not be able to actually go to any clinic. So we probably I would think we'd want to, if we do get vaccine, prioritize it to the Homebound also.
All right. I'm all set.
Yeah, I am too.
Yep. Thank you very much, Laura. Appreciate it. I'm all set.
Okay, thank you.
Again, Lori, thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Lisa, before we continue, real quick, I just got to do a quick roll call for open meeting law. We have Selectman Grunwald on the line. We have Selectman Pacheco. We have Selectman Matthews. The disembodied voice that you just heard was the public health nurse, Lori Damaris. We also have Board of Health agent, Tanya Danielle, and Town Administrator, Peter Jankowski, and then myself, Tim McIntosh, and our Senior Clerk, Luann Souza. But we're good now. You can continue.
Thanks, Tim. George, it's still George.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the goals for Tanya. And it's the first I've seen of this today. So I'm not sure, do we have goals that were put together, or is that something we want to do? Or
No, we decided at the last time we met as a full board that we were going to push this off to this meeting.
okay. Well, I think we should put some goals together and discuss them at the next meeting, unless somebody has goals already put together.
Well, I was ready to talk about them, but I have a couple of them. The first one would be to get up to date on everything Excel through the Board of Health. Also, a way to streamline when we do our permits, our wells and our variances, a way to streamline that. Perhaps you do, you have a meeting with the engineer, whatever, the homeowner, and then just give us a list of things towards the end of the month. I know some things have to be approved by us because of the abutter process, but maybe there's perhaps a streamlining method that we could use. Also, I'm not sure, Trevor and George, where we left the boat ramp stuff. I don't know if it's still under, if it's under Parks and Recreation. I know that we tried to do that. I don't know if we have a full Parks and Recreation right now, but also we're coming up on that time of year. And I don't want to wait until March or April to start talking about the boat ramp. I'd rather be prepared.
We should put that on an agenda for a future meeting, but I personally don't believe that that should be part of the Board of Health.
Mhm.
That really has nothing to do with Board of Health, as far as I can tell.
I agree.
Right. I mean, we all agreed on that, but we don't have, I don't think we have a full Parks and Recreation yet, right, Tim?
Nope. And the way you guys set the Parks and Rec committee up, it was just basically an advisory board. You wanted them to look at the rules and regulations and report back to the board. So I don't know if they're going to be fully equipped to handle a whole department like that. And I believe there's only one member on there currently.
Right. So that's,
I mean, what we have to do is take care of things like collecting fees and all of that, right? And policing the area. I don't see how that should even be under the Board of Health. I know it has been, but makes no sense.
I think it ended up there because it didn't fit in anywhere else, right? And that replied, same kind of problems again. I agree with you. It doesn't make any logical sense. Totally agree with you there. But
Do we have to hire staff? Is that what we're looking for?
the only thing that the Board of Health does is test the water over there, right? It also monitors the height of the water over there because of the floods from before. But anyway, I agree. We said we were going to take it away from Board of Health, but we can't take it away unless we know where we're going to put it. So that's something that the board has to. I
mean, it's going to take a few hours a week for whoever takes care of this to do this. And I don't see how you can put that on the health agent, to tell you the truth.
What do they have to do? What do they have to do for the boat ramp? You have a harbor master, correct?
no, it's just like the EPA and
we have a harbor master.
you do?
It's $100 a year.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry.
Well, I think this might be a good assignment for Peter.
Yeah.
Come up with a solution, Peter. You're not doing anything else, are you?
I'm just thinking back in Millbridge, we had, I had two commercial and recreational pier, and I've overseen 4 or 5 different beaches from towns. So I didn't do the testing. If that's the health agent's going to do that, that's even better. But tell me what we need to do, and Timai and Luann, we'll figure it out. It's not, it's an unmanned lifeguard beach, right? No lifeguards.
No lifeguards.
You're talking about the town beach. We're talking about the boat ramp.
Yeah. Do we do restoration and stuff?
So we had issues with trash last year and a bunch of people at both the boat ramp and the town beach, right, Tim? I mean, there was issues kind of across the board. People launching things. It's kind of like a mixed issue that kind of crosses.
We're going to get those issues anyhow, right? The Board of Selectmen. So, put it under my office and we'll do what we need to do. And we'll have the health agent. She'll do have the water tested and that's fine.
Okay. So that's basically where we're at with that, Peter. You'll take
I'm
the
okay
help?
with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Luann needs something to do anyhow, so we're fine.
Right. Okay.
Tanya, anything you want to work on?
I'm formatting a list for the board and for Peter. We've discussed it briefly as far as just trying to put forth some things that I've been trying to observe over the past month since I started. which go hand in hand with your comments about streamlining. There's a variety of ways that the board can do that. Sometimes, within the jurisdiction of Title V, there's much that the agent can take care of. I can give you examples or give you different processes as to which one you feel most comfortable with. Some boards want to see everything, no matter how much I communicate with the engineers, because that's already in the process. The bottom line with a lot of applications, that's one thing that's missing in Freetown that's a little bit different or unique is just an abutter notification. An abutter notification protects the town in many ways, and it allows the residents in that area to be a part of it, whether first and foremost it's through the department, through the agent. And then if there are significant issues with it, that gets conveyed to the board for their review. But for the most part, those circumstances can be done in-house. So sometimes I'll give the board an in-house, what they call an in-house variance package, which is very much established by Title V since 1995, and then the other ones. So depending on what the board wants, if you specify some of these matters, and I'll give you several examples, you can say, okay, these are the ones we really want to see, and thus and so. But I do want the board to be able to have that opportunity. That's part of my role here. And to go, we have an application coming up quickly, and I just said, well, I think the 22nd. And I did say, please notify the abutters. The lots are very tight. We have, the property is on the river, et cetera, et cetera. So some of those are more what I call critical variances and not so much standard variances, whereas it's the best practice possible. But the board needs to be aware of what the definition of best practice is significantly varies from engineer to engineer. I hope that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. I think that there are things that we want to be aware of, but then we're trying to just get away from having every single one come in front of us. There was no need for it. So we're asking for just a list of maybe the ones that the prior Board of Health agent had agreed to, and then just those that had a butter list would come in front of us. But if there's a better way to do that, I'm all for listening.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I tell you, so one of my goals too is I didn't really prepare anything here, but just something that keeps coming up is there are some problem properties that have some, potentially environmentally dangerous, equipment and things leaking into water sources that I frequently get emails about and complaints about. So I just like those to be at least be able to either best case scenario, take care of the issue and force the property owners to clean up their mess, or at least we'll be able to give the neighbors some answers on why we can't, what the problems are and what our next steps can be. Because I feel bad when they ask me, and I don't know. I know there's a couple of properties where we've been trying for a long time, and it just hasn't seemed to anything materialize yet. So.
Well, I always encourage you to, if you don't mind sharing, even if you need to blot some things out, and just so I'm alerted to specifically the site and the concern. That's,
absolutely.
Whatever you'd like to do, that would help me in figuring that out too, as I'm new to town.
Mm-hmm.
But problematic systems are something that I've been dealing with since 1990, 1992. So the situation in that aspect with Freetown, I have a comfort zone. I just want to make sure that there are some things that could be done that are still fiscally prudent, but also gain some greater treatment. I haven't seen too much of that. And just speaking with some of the engineers locally here, they're very willing to do that. There's a few requirements, but again, these are matters that the board should be aware of. I'm certainly not making any changes or any of that matter before I present that to the board. Right now, we're going right by the code, and the board is seeing the variances of greater concern, not so much setback distances that are not including private well supply or extreme proximity to the wetland resources.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, anything else?
I'm all set.
Okay. All right, Tanya, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, Peter? You
Yeah,
wanna
I have
talk
the,
about-
I drafted the RFP for the solid waste and recycling. It's in your packet. It's pretty thick. I copied Grammy's a little bit because at one time you folks had talked about automated. So I'm looking at a 3 and a 5 year option and look at manual, traditional, and automated system. So you can take a look at those. Look at the appendix that asks about the questions, the background of the vendors, if you want to add or take something out of there. But I just need dates looking at. So I was hoping that you folks take it home, take a look at it. You don't have to read all the boilerplate language because it's pretty standardized legalese. But what option do you want to go through? I think the automated is going to be pricey compared. That's why I put 5 years in there, because if you have to pay for the truck over a 3 year period, it gets really pricey. If it's only 5 years, it's more doable. With that said, my understanding is there's some sections of town where an automated vehicle would not work. So it's going to be a little bit of a hybrid of the two. But take a look at that, figure out the dates we want, have it go out. We actually have a list. I think Tim or Luann put a list together of all the vendors in the area. There's like 8 or 9 of them. We would send it to everybody. We would also post it. So that's what we're taking a look at.
Can we have that for approval at the next meeting?
Yeah.
So we can have it on the street by 3/1?
Be great. And we probably have a 30-day out. right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But take
That'd
a
be
look and see if you want me to adjust anything in there and just, so I'll put the dates for March 1st. Is it-
Okay. Is everybody all right with that?
Yeah, that's good.
Take a look at it just in case.
All right, so we'll put it on for approval at the next meeting and then we'll have it on the streets by 3/1.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Back to our regular business. Security cameras for the transfer station.
I actually put a memo in your packet, talked to 2 companies, Comcast and what was the other one? Nationwide Alarms, looking at 3 cameras at the transfer station, 1 inside, 2 outside. We have one, right now we have 1 just on the outside. And then I have 1 camera at the town hall pointed down at the drop box out front. Comcast, using the line that we have there now, the business line they have. Figure what the exact price difference is. But I have it internalized in the document. Both cameras would require an installation fee of $270. Overall, to do these cameras with the prices I have right now is about $2,200. I'm going to request probably $2,500, only because right now we get a $30 credit on these lines, and understanding Comcast may be doing away with that for whatever reason. So that's what we're looking at. Nationwide look good. They do the things down. They do the cameras at the COA. They were just more expensive. And what I liked about Comcast, even though Nationwide offers the same thing, is that it's just an address. You'll be able to look it up on your computer. So you can watch inside and outside and what have you. It's a 30-day hold. So if something happens on the 1st, you have up to the 30th. Then on the 31st or the first and next, it goes away. So, but you can hold snippets of it. I forget how long you can hold it for. Let's see, you can hold it for a year, and I think the length of time is something like an hour. I can't remember exactly off the time, but that's what it. But if we have some concerns or some issues going on, we'll know about it in a short period of time and those pieces. But everybody's using the business lines that we have now from Comcast, even the other guy, and he was more expensive. So I was going to hopefully do this and look at it for about $2,500 additional what we pay above. It might be a little less depending on that credit.
Okay, what's the
Any
board's pleasure?
It's a
Where is
2-year
this money coming from?
Well, I don't know yet. I would go to FinCon right now and ask them, because they haven't spent any money or very little money out of their reserve fund. So it asks for that. I think it also requires a 2-year service agreement. So we would put it in. So you're only looking for maybe a few months for this year, and the next year would be the full $2,500. If I can squeeze a few dollars it costs this year out of the budget, I would. But but that's what
Yeah,
you're looking.
if we can do, if we can do it out of, either our budget or the transfer station budget without
Yeah.
going to, because I'm not sure that this is unforeseeable. They're gonna say that, you can plan for this for capital. They might not, I don't know that for sure. So, if we can squeeze it out of ours, like you said, it's only a couple of months left.
They do see it as two separate type of agreements, so I can split them. They're not one package deal, so you can probably do the town hall one pretty easy. That's because it's one camera right out front here. Transfer station costs a little more money, but we'll see. I'll work with Kim and see what we have for funding here and there. To do that.
All right, do you guys want to approve this now?
Sure.
All right, and then
Yeah.
if you can get the money, if you can get the funding and you find out where, you can let the board know. If
Yep.
not, then you're gonna have to come back to the board anyway for a recommendation for a transfer request to the FinCom. So I'll
Okay.
entertain a motion to go according to the recommendation of the town administrator for the town transfer station and town hall cameras at a total cost of $2,200.
Motion made.
Do you have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Grunwald.
Yes.
Okay,
All
the
right.
only thing I want to add to that is I just want to make sure that perhaps when we have our next negotiation meeting, that this is not to go to collective bargaining, because I'm
I've
not,
already had those discussions. To be
Okay.
honest with you. I talked to Vicky. I also talked with the union, met with the union. Everyone was kosher on it.
okay, fine.
So I've already kind of gone through those steps. Otherwise, I would have not been here by now.
All right, I just want to make sure that we don't get like something
No, I spoke to them and but all of them signed off on it.
perfect. All right, then we're good to go.
Yep.
All right, next, review of the revised snowplow agreements.
Let me pull that out. Actually, we're looking, because there's been a lot of discussion about not having snowplow independent contractors for the town. And we were looking through this. Luann actually picked it up that we did not have additionally insured on that agreement. So that's a pretty standard thing. And basically what it says, if there's an accident committed by the independent contractor, it would go on their insurance first before ours. I mean, they're always going to sue the town because we're deep pockets, right? So let's have it on them because it's their act, their responsibility. So I asked for that to be added. Certificate of non-collusion and certificate of tax compliance was not included in your packets, and those are required by state law. So I asked for those to go in. And then at the same time, incorporated within the agreement, the alcohol and substance abuse certification of assurance and the rates were in the agreement. They're always incorporated by reference by the RFP, but they should be within the agreement themselves. So that's what I'm at. But the big thing is having the additionally insured. It protects the town. It puts us in a better footing if there's an accident. And as you know, there has been an accident. Whether it's one of ours or independent contractors, we don't know yet. And I'm not sure how those folks, I think we have one of these contracts that actually have the additional insured, but the others do not. So I think it's a good standardized practice to use right now.
So, we didn't add this in for a specific reason, and that's because, we had about 20 snowplow contract
Yeah.
will come in, and it significantly increased, according to them, significantly increased their insurance, and they wouldn't be able to afford to come and work for the town. So before I even entertain this myself, I would want to make sure that there's no crazy amount of money that they would have to pay to name the town.
Right. And there would be an additional cost. I don't know what that is because it depends on them. But I do look at the situation that just happened 2 weeks ago. Right? If that's an independent contractor, we're hung first on that. Right? Got a guy in critical condition in the hospital. And that's going to be all us without going to them. And, it's their actions. It's their responsibility. So you have to kind of balance what I think is best for the town and what, but we can ask what a cost difference is, but it would be a cost to them. There is. But it's their actions. It's a business write-off anyhow, to be honest with you. And they do their corporate taxation.
But what I've been told, Peter, that a lot of these people are not doing this anymore because the insurance is too expensive.
Yeah.
Did we meet our requirements for this winter with
No,
contracts?
I think Chuck has said we're still short some drivers. I don't know how many, but I think we are short some snowplows.
But
Tim may
next
have a
year
better
might-
answer.
Yeah, next year might get even worse. We should probably review what we're paying these guys and, discuss the insurance cost with them so that we can attract more people. If this continues at this rate and we can't hire enough plows, we're going to be, in
So
some duress.
The election, maybe you want to put a stipend in there saying if they sign on, have a signing bonus of $100 or $200, whatever it is, that they can apply to their insurance.
Right.
But we are, if this case goes through where this guy just got hit, and if we're found liable through the independent, that's could be a lot of money. Real money.
This was a hit and run. They cannot find who the driver was.
They have video now.
Oh, good.
They have video, yeah. So,
I'm not saying that we don't need it. I'm just saying that we had a hard time, and this was 2 years ago. And I think if we look at what we're paying, I think we're right in line with everybody, right, Tim?
We are.
yeah.
So remember how we were going to try to do that signing bonus? Like if they let us know by a certain date, they could get X amount of dollars. That might be a good way, perhaps, George, to get them to come in sooner. So yeah, if we throw, $100, $200 at them,
Yeah. We should try to find out what the cost of the additional insurance for them is.
I agree.
Yeah, because that's the feedback I get. They're not willing to do it for whatever's left after they pay the insurance. Well, it's a hard job,
And they're going, I don't even know if they're going to the state anymore. I think they're just doing their own independent, because they can go to a driveway, you know what I mean, or whatever, and get X amount of dollars. And they don't have to do the insurance or anything else, or, or add the town, right? Because they're just going to do it themselves.
Right.
So I think that that's what we're up against. Maybe we should just try to think outside the box on how to attract reasonably, with a reasonable cost, of how to attract drivers.
It's really money, because that's all it is. When they're plowing driveways by themselves, it doesn't involve us. It's their insurance first anyhow.
Right.
So right now we got guys out there driving, right? And if they hit someone or hit a car or whatever it is, we pay for it. We're up front for their neglect or their malfeasance, and what can you do? We have people right now that are plowing for us. I understand that don't even have the agreement, but that's a different issue. That's an issue you guys have to take up with the highway surveyor, because we shouldn't have anyone driving without a signed agreement.
how are they getting paid without an agreement?
I don't know if they're getting paid, but
They're not getting paid. And the contracts that Peter's referring to is actually, you guys skipped it on the agenda. It's snowplow contract for Jefferson D. Moranville. He's the only one that we're aware of that's plowing right now without an assigned agreement.
And is that just because we haven't had a meeting yet to?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Which I understand,
no, that's not true, because that's also because the highway supervisor just told him to go plow before coming up here. So.
Right. Yeah. It's both.
Yeah. So, and that's a communication you guys have to have with the other elected.
All right. So I do agree, though, that all of our drivers should go through, whatever alcohol, controlled substance, all of that. Like, we should have that on file. And also their driving record. That should be that should be part and parcel of the package, but, I mean, we're all almost done with packages for this year. I think it's definitely something that we should work on over the summer to be prepared for next year, for sure.
Exactly what do you mean when you say alcohol? Are you saying their record or?
No, it just says they can't, the policy is they can't use drugs and alcohol while they're driving, working for the town. What
It's
we
just-
do now is, again,
They just sign off on a paper saying.
yeah,
Oh, okay, all right.
right now it's incorporated by reference, which is not the best way to run contracts. So let's incorporate into the agreement. The only thing you don't have is the certificates for non-collusion and tax compliance, which is required by the state. So I'll have those in there that,
All right, so let's go back to this, so we're not dragging it out. So we're gonna continue to work on this. We're gonna try to find out what the additional cost would be per driver, correct?
correct.
Yes.
All right. And then you'll just update us at our next meeting, and then we can go from there. And I will go back to what I missed, Tim. I'm trying to do two things at one time. I'll entertain a motion to give Mr. D. Moranville a snowplow contract for this current year.
Motion granted.
Do you have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Tanya, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just gotta find it.
Uniform allowance,
Yeah,
$500, if I remember correctly.
Yep, for the bylaw employees to get their uniform allowance that we've traditionally done and budgeted for, they just have to sign you guys have to approve this memorandum of agreement with those employees.
yep, it's for shirts, boots, vests, coats, and pants. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the $500 uniform allowance for the Board of Health agent, Tanya Dagnall.
Motion made?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. All right, Tim, this is yours, right? Timeline for the annual town meeting?
Preliminary discussion of a 5-member board of selectmen is first, actually.
We skipped one.
Yeah, the 5-member board of selectmen is what we
Yeah, we're
skipped.
going to that right now.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to timeline.
I
number
was.
11. Okay,
My mistake.
okay. You're allowed.
Thanks.
So 5-member board. What do we?
This discussion was requested by Selectman Grunwald, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
something that we had talked about in the summer, right? And we said, let's start to put this together. Definitely something I think that the town needs right now. I think the town is, growing, and it's something we should consider.
I mean, I just would add to what you said that people I've talked to, town administrators, have relayed to me that 5-member boards seem to work better. Now, I can't give you any detail on why that is, but one thing that I can see right off the bat, you would allow one selectman to speak to another selectman without violating the laws. So that's somewhat helpful. And, the more the merrier, as they say, and get more ideas. And
Yep, I think that maybe we should, Trevor, go ahead.
No, I totally agree. I think that I'd like to see what other towns of our size and I think a part of our town, I think we're in a growth phase right now anyways, right? With a lot of things going on. I think, we probably want to maybe not compare ourselves to the populations that we currently are at, but maybe where we think we'll be at in 5-10 years, with the train coming and things of that nature. And I think might make a lot of sense to have five-person board.
I agree. I think we should reach out to Mark Rich and have him maybe draw up a timeline of what that would involve. It would probably have to be at the town meeting first, and then it would probably, I'm not sure, it might even need a ballot vote after that. So I'm not sure if that's something for this year, next year, or years after that, because I'm assuming that it would be, you know, one person would run for 1 year, another person would run for 2 years, and another person would run for 3 years. So we're not having everybody in 1 year.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it has, yeah.
2-1 rotation.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right,
No.
so you want to,
Make a motion to move ahead with this.
all right, so we entertain a motion to have Peter reach out to Mark Rich to begin the discussion to move forward with a 5-member board.
I'll second that.
All right, you made it, George. Trevor,
Yes.
seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes,
We'll do a survey too.
perfect. Timeline for the annual 2021 meeting, town meeting.
Yep, let me just jump to that section there. Well, we don't really need to set the, the exact date or the method of doing the town meeting just yet. It's a little early for that. But we were actually talking about the budget today, and we're looking at probably starting that in April, like the actual hard work with the actual board. So we were thinking maybe get the warrant done as much as possible in the month of March. So to get that ball rolling, I just need from you guys when you want the articles to be due by, and then I can work from there.
Well, when do you need them by? That's the work.
That's really the question. I can compile them as they come in. Just that the departments haven't been notified that the window is open yet. So I just need to know how long you want that window open and when you want them due.
What
So-
have we done in the past, Tim?
It's gone all over the place. We've gone with a whole bunch of different window
Well-
lengths, when the deadlines would be.
Since you're doing the work, what would work for you?
Let's see. It's the 16th now. If we want to do, well, do you guys want to review it after I send the warrant to council to review, or do you want to do a quick review of the board first?
No, we should do like we have in the past. We get the warrant articles, we decide on which ones we should leave in, which ones we should leave out. Remember, that's how we do it. And then we send the ones that we leave in, we send that to council, because why would we send everything to council if some of
Yeah,
the
that
ones
makes
are
sense.
taken out? So, I mean, it's actually our work that we're gonna be doing it too, in concert with Tim and Peter, because we're gonna have to be talking to each of the departments about whatever warrant articles they send us, perhaps. So I think you should go according to the timeline that we were talking about for the budget. And at our next meeting on 2/22, give us what we need backwards. So if we're meeting with police and they have a warrant article, let's just do it all at the same time, right?
Mhm.
So if we open it in, because we don't want to open it too early, because then somebody's going to say, I forgot this, and then we're going to have to reopen it. You know what I mean? So I'd rather avoid that too. But if we do it at the same time, 3:31 to 3, whatever, I mean, 3:1 to,
Let's see. So the meeting, the 12th, we could leave it open until maybe say the annual town election on April 5th that day, and then I can get everything compiled and we can start that whole process at the next meeting, probably on the 12th, the next week.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, if that works for you, I'm okay with it.
All right. Do you guys want to vote that date, or do you just want me to send it out to everybody?
No, you can send it out. I think
Okay.
general consensus is fine.
All right.
Okay.
Meeting minutes, Tim?
Yep, we have January 4th, January 11th, and January 19th for approval.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
Right. So next up is town administrator's report.
Just had two things. One is the street sign on Alexandria Drive. One of the neighbors came and contacted us. I guess there's a lot of trucks that are trying to go to Excel that are going on that road. And my impression is they're coming off the highway. They missed the initial turn for Excel. They keep going through town and they kind of loop around and come in the back way from Alexandria Drive to get back on there. TomTom, which is like the navigation system used by a lot of commercial drivers, don't have Alexandria Drive is a private road. So the thought was, I had a discussion with the highway surveyor that we could put I thought no truck signs, but then this weekend I saw one that said no commercial trucks. So maybe put a no commercial truck sign. Not since Alexandria is private, and I'm one of those guys, I don't like spending public on private, that we would put it on the public's part of Alexandria at the both ends. So I had no commercial trucks, and then contact TomTom to put it as a private road. But just trying to relieve some of the pressures for the folks out there from those trucks. So I would not know how they would get rerouted. So that's something we would have to kind of figure out. But what happens is, you know, it's really not designed for those trucks down there. I'm just trying to find a way to give some more peace down in that area. And the sign seemed like a pretty simple solution.
You know, I just had a thought, Peter. I don't
Yes,
know
sir.
if this is doable or if people would even want that. But if we made that street one way so that no one could go in from South Main and you'd have to enter from the side street.
Yeah,
If the
I don't know.
people- Excuse me?
I don't know if you have jurisdiction because it's a private road. And
Well-
plus it would be kind of difficult for the folks because, I mean, it was designed to be a two-way road for the residential units.
Right.
But it's a private road. That's why these signs, when I talked to Chuck, the highway surveyor, he made it sound like he could put it on the public sections by those roads. I don't know how else to stop trucks from going down there, you know what I mean? It just,
I think anything that you can do to make it a deterrence for people to go there is probably a wise idea.
so the signs run like $50 each, and he already has posts and stuff already, so it's such a minimal cost. And he says he can incorporate that into the budget, so that's what I would ask.
Another unrelated note. So I saw something on Facebook recently about related to trucks going, the Stop and Shop trucks going up into the Bay Shores. And it was a screenshot of the GPS for TomTom, and it directed the people where they should not go. So if
Yeah.
you have any success with this, with TomTom for that, was also throw the Stop and Shop, you know, because they've changed that road a couple times in the last couple of years. Like, you know, when the bridge washed out, they had to do a whole reroute and all that other stuff. So there might be something screwed up in their system there.
So Luann's husband was a professional driver, and she actually reached out to TomTom. So I'm gonna have her reach out to them again for Alexandria, and maybe she can bring up that issue too, and have them corrected on their navigation system.
Great, thank you.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to move forward with the signs.
Granted,
Second.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Matthews,
yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
Thank you. The next thing I had was a seasonal worker for snow removal, and a couple of our facilities. We have one guy, Tim, who's doing the shoveling for all the facilities. He comes in at a certain time, I think 7:30, and leaves early. So snow that happens before or snow that happens after doesn't get shoveled. So we're getting some complaints from our facilities on getting that done. So the thought was to maybe try to hire a just for the season, part-time, as called, as needed, to come in and shovel for those hours. And that's what we're looking for. The only thing I should have tried to figure out a budget for that. I'm not sure what, you know, it's hard to guess this year. So that's what we're looking at. So that was a request from the facilities, and I brought up to Jeff and everything. So it's for something simple to work. But I know our base pays like $15.30 an hour, something like that. So And I'm just thinking with COVID and a lot of those landscapers and those type of guys are out of work and stuff, and contractors, someone may be interested in doing that.
What's the board's pleasure?
What is the question? Hire seasonal worker? Yes. Okay, make a motion to hire a seasonal worker. Is that what you need?
Yeah. Do I have a second?
Second,
All right. Peter, it's just gonna be by storm, correct? Like, we're not
Correct.
gonna, all right, okay.
So it would all be under Jeff. I would have him oversee it because he has Tim doing it now, so. And I assume assuming, right? But when the police declare it's a winter emergency and stuff, folks have to come out. Those people would come out to do the shoveling. It's basically the COA, the police station and town hall, and depending on the library status at the time, you know. Right now they're closed because of COVID concerns, but that's it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes,
Selectman Matthews,
yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think I'm up next.
Yep.
All right, so first we have the transfer station attendant vacancy, and this is related to the denial of the transfer from the reserve fund. I guess I don't know what we do about this.
I actually have a little bit more information about this. It's partially funded. The funding in place would basically get us started. It was in place to get a step one worker, but we have a couple in-house candidates that would get paid a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
The finance committee recommended that we, find money elsewhere in the budget that we can transfer over. I've gotten word that we can find that money to get either of those workers in place. So we're just basically looking for approval from the board to hire to start the hiring process, I should say, to continue the hiring process, to actually get one of those workers in place at the transfer station, and then we can worry about the transfer later.
All right, yeah, I'll entertain a motion to continue the hiring process for the transfer station attendant.
I'll make that motion.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Selectman Grunwald,
yes,
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
All right.
So then next we have the town of Freetown hiring policy that I know Peter's been working on. I've reviewed it. It looks good. And do you want to speak to anything specific about it, Peter?
It's the process you use now. So we were just trying to memorialize the process you use now. Basically, in the short, it says if you have exempt and non-exempt employees, with exempt employees, you can have a hiring committee or do it yourself, and non-exempt, you just go through the normal hiring process. We didn't have anything in writing anywhere, so keeps everybody come on the same path, the same track, that's all.
All right, great. Thank you. Do we need to make a motion to accept this hiring policy, or is it
I'll make a motion to approve.
second,
all in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Selectman Grunwald,
yes,
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Now I will entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Vincent D. Oliveira as Council on Aging van driver effective January 29th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to accept the letter and send a letter of thanks.
Absolutely.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
Selectman Grunwald,
yes,
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes. Next, I will entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Huguette. Am I saying that right? Lord from the
believe
Finance
so.
Committee, effectively February 1st, 2021.
Same motion. I'll make the motion to approve and also send a letter of thanks.
Absolutely.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Selectman Grunwald,
yes,
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes. All right, next, to fill that vacancy, I will entertain a motion to appointment of Kent Wilkins to the Finance Committee effective February 2nd, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve and send him a letter saying why.
I'm going to ignore that part.
Good, we get to ignore stuff. I like that.
Where are we with this? We had a second?
Nope, looking for one.
You have it, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco, sorry,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes. Okay, now we have the appointment for the Freetown Lakeville Regional School Finance Committee.
I cannot be on it. So it's either you or George, and it's in harmony with Peter. This is like a finance committee for this regional school district. So you go over everything, all their finances, their budget, so you're involved not in the actual creation of the budget, but the review of the budget.
Yeah. Who was on it last year, Lisa?
Charlie.
Yep, Selectman Sullivan was.
Oh,
on it.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I really don't want it, but I take it if no one else wants it.
I just don't know if right now, pretty full load. I just don't know if I have the,
Yeah, no,
time.
that's why I said that.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do anything. I want to do it well, and I don't think I can do that well. So
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
I'll make the motion to have George be the representative for the town to the Freetown Lakeville School Finance Committee.
second,
No, George second it.
sorry, yeah,
I
sorry,
have to second it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It
Selectman
gets
Grunwald,
confusing. Oh, sorry, go Tim, my bad.
Okay.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes. No, I was gonna say, it gets confusing when you're appointing within the group,
When you have 5, you don't have to worry about it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right, you have one more thing.
Yep, finally, I will entertain a motion, the appointment of Alyssa J. Sullivan as library technician effective February 16th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve Alyssa Silva as library tech.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
All right.
Can we just quickly go over old business, please?
Yeah, I have a question on that.
All right, so
Uh-huh.
we'll, Council on Aging project study, that should be done what, next week or the week after?
Nope. I actually got an email from Andy today. I was asking for an update. He's still waiting to set a meeting with the Council on Aging board. That was the first step of the process. So I don't think it's even started yet, but hopefully that's in the progress because I did get the response and it went to Barbara as well. So
All right, I mean, this needs to be taken care of, like, we need to
Mhm.
make a decision.
I'm
and we-
meeting with Barbara tomorrow.
Okay,
She'll
thank
be the
you.
Rattler Cage, yeah.
All right, George, did you have a question on that?
Well, you answered part of it, but because this thing has been dragging on, and it's just not right. What
can't-
is the delay? I mean, Andy has had this project on his desk for a couple of months now.
well, I did email him about a month ago and he responded with the meeting request. I sent it along and there was no follow-up from the Council on Aging board as far as I know, that I was looped into anyway.
All right,
Really? Oh,
George,
That's
can you
very good.
find out?
yeah, I will. I'll
Okay.
find out what's going on. So he's waiting for feedback from the Council on Aging. I just want to make sure that that's correct.
Yep,
You're
that's
right.
correct.
I did have a conversation with them today, and they haven't heard from anybody. So
I sent it along to the COA director. I know she's been in and out of the office. She is back full time now, so I think that should probably get the ball rolling a little bit quicker.
So what is the purpose of the meeting?
It's basically for Andy to go over the needs of the COA and what sort of programming they would be looking to add.
Okay, but his
It was all
task-
stipulated in the proposal that you guys awarded to CGA
Right.
back end of December.
Yeah, but he was supposed to look at a joint project, library and COA.
Yes, but he needs input from the COA first.
first.
Yes, that's the very first step of the process.
Okay,
Otherwise, it's just an outside entity telling them what they need, which we know that
Right.
doesn't work. Right.
yeah, no, totally agree. All right, I'll get in touch with COA, and when is our next meeting? I'll have a report for you then.
Next Monday, the 22nd.
Okay, all right.
All right. Thank you, George. Vocational education for Freetown students 2021. I think we can take that off now.
Okay.
Okay, that's all set, right?
Yep. Phone system upgrades. Are you all set with that, Tim?
Yep, we're the town hall is completely up and running. Has been for a bit now. We're just waiting on highway department, fire department, and COA. As soon as I get a spare moment, that's first on my list. It just
No
might be
worries.
a while for that one.
No worries. Information technology grant with the town of Lakeville.
That was actually Luann and Peter working on that one, so we might have to make Luann speak here.
Yeah, let Luann speak. That means now.
She left the building. Elvis has left the building.
Doesn't
Oh,
want-
we
no.
actually, I guess I'll talk.
Is she,
Oh, there
There
she
we
is.
go.
Oh, there she is. Thank
Too many
God.
windows open, sorry. So we did have a tentative meeting scheduled for the 10th, which got canceled because the representative from King's Information Systems wasn't available to attend. I did speak with Selectmen, I think it's Camara from Lakeville. They brought a lot of the grant information to our attention. They are looking to, I guess, had met with King's and got a quote to do their sample box for the Board of Health. I think it was something like $80,000, and then it would be another $200,000 to scan their whole Board of Health department. So it seemed a bit more than what the grant was going to allow. So we do have a rescheduled meeting, I believe it's the 25th of February, with different departments to bring a sample of what they would like to digitize and the quantity that they have for those items, so that King can take a look at them, give us a quote so we can see where this monies would be best utilized. Tanya, the Board of Health agent, has given us some recommendations on a plotter scanner that we would like to purchase for the town. So we are out on the Combis bid list to get which vendors actually carry this. And so I have a couple of responses from people there, and we're getting quotes and seeing what piece of equipment is going to be the best for the town. Lakeville expressed interest in also purchasing that same type of scanner plotter. So I told the selectmen there that once we had decided upon a model, I would share that information with them as well. And that since we are the grant manager of the funds, we would be making the purchase on their behalf. So that's about where we stand on that right now.
Awesome.
We did get an extension because it was coming up February 14th that the grant was going to end. So we did get an extension to June 30th of 2022.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The board have any questions? All right. Job descriptions and job description review. That's something you're still working on, Peter?
Yeah, I don't have any direction on that so much because I know we have some job descriptions now. So
Yep. So the feedback would be that some people are working in their job description and some people are not working to the potential of their job description, while others are working above and beyond their job description. So I think that that's what we're looking for. And I think you said that you're doing a survey anyway, so that might come up in that survey.
yeah, I'm meeting with Trevor, had it as one of my goals to do the employee satisfaction survey. So I went online, copied a few of those, started to put one together, working with Tim and Luann on that. Hopefully I'll have that ready to go next week. I was going to send it out to Trevor so you could take a peek at it, and then we'll send it out. It's really kind of give us a baseline, but couple of the questions asked: how's your job duties? Are they reasonable? Are they satisfied? That kind of thing. So.
Yep. So that'll work, coincide exactly what we were looking for some time ago. All right, and then the last thing is town hall computer replacement. We talked a little bit about that, but we definitely should have, a 5-year plan on what needs to be purchased and when. So we're making sure that town hall keeps up with all the new information, new technology that becomes available. So I think, Peter, you're gonna work on that?
Yeah, I think Tim's been working on it. I think the computer upgrades we've had in the town hall have been very successful. I think people really enjoy and like them. I think we need to take a look at the other departments, but I think we need to schedule it out because doing the town hall all at once kind of hurts the budget. So
Right.
let's try to, like we do with police cruisers, do so many per year.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, we were able to find, not really find, it was encumber some funds that were left over in the capital budget last year that we were able to transfer to this year to, get the whole, all of the offices here in the town hall, new computers. They're being installed a little bit last week, some this week, and will be done by next Monday. But everyone should be up, up in the current days, because the old computers were in place for probably 6 to 8 years, so they were a little bit outdated.
and
we
increasingly,
took-
we should be looking at software updates too. 'cause, right,
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
and I think
it was going to become a major issue because Vadar was going to not support Windows 7 anymore. I think either later this year or next year. So we had to do it sooner or later. So we were able to get that taken care of right away.
Did that include the servers or just the desktops?
The servers we've been maintaining as necessary, so that we're not far behind on, or weren't behind on. This was just desktop computers this time.
But it would be good to have like a plan, like a 5-year plan or a
Yes.
10-year plan, so we know what we're purchasing and when, or what needs
Mhm.
replacement and when. Instead of just like looking for money or, oh my God, we have to do this right away, at least we'll have a plan. The only other thing I'd like to add on to old business is the boat ramp and the town beach.
Get ahead of it.
And if anybody has anything else that they want to put under old business, so we don't forget about it. I just don't want to forget about those 2 areas.
So are both of those coming under the town administrator, boat ramp and beach? You see them together?
They are together, yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Should I have any discussions with the harbor master? I'm not sure what he does here, but I mean, I know what they do. I'll just,
I believe the harbor master actually only handles the Asonet River. So I don't think he has any jurisdiction at all about Long Pond.
even better, one less. Okay,
Well, because Hathaway Park, right, that would still fall under Parks and Recreation. So I mean, you still have Hathaway Park and there's a little boat ramp over there too. So
Is there really?
I think that you need to just see what we have, where we have it, and then we can all have a further discussion on exactly what you think you're getting yourself into.
No, I'm fine. It's just, I
Okay,
crammed ground one time too, so whatever. That's good.
all right, anything else that anybody wants under old business?
No,
I think we have
all
everything.
the items that are there are staying, right?
Yep.
Okay,
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Granted.
second,
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
yes.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes, thank you. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.